Hey everyone, and welcome to the LEGO CPA for my review of the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. And of course, this set comes with everything pictured here except for the clear pieces, as I use those for the display. And of course, this is set number 75339. Comes with 108 pieces, and this is set to release on August 1st, 2023, although you may have found it in stores early, for the price of $19.99, except for at Walmart, oddly enough. It has been seen for the price of $26.97. And of course, I wouldn't deprive you the sight of these clone troopers themselves, the minifigures in all their glory. And from left to right, as they're facing you, we have Captain Vaughn, 2 jet troopers, and then a regular clone trooper. Of course, Captain Vaughn comes with the visor, as we see there, but we also are joined with a couple of visors and a couple of rangefinders in this set to utilize those helmet holes. And as we take a closer look at Captain Vaughn, I wanted to give you all a very detailed look, as he does have the badge on his shoulder, which is, of course, and very unfortunately, colored incorrectly, along with his incorrectly colored visor, which is a shade too bright, as it shows all blue, but it really should be multicolored between blue, light gray, and orange. So it is a little unfortunate that we had this instance here. But now looking at the jet trooper, of course, it comes with 2 jet troopers. I only show one here. But with this 360 view, you can really pause, look at any angle you want, and get a good idea of what we're getting with these minifigures. And lastly, we have the normal clone trooper. The same torso as the jet trooper, the only difference being the jet trooper jetpack itself as the only difference between this trooper and the jet trooper. With Vaughn actually being the only trooper having his own unique printing on the front and the back, as you saw earlier. And I do think it would be a very poor representation of me if I didn't show you the original 332nd Clone Trooper from 2020 that we got in the Armored Assault Tank from the Clone Wars. Of course, that was in 2020. And we only received one of these 332nd Clone Troopers. And obviously, the most glaring difference is, in fact, the helmet holes on the side, as well as the print on the top of the helmet is not quite as precise or close to the middle fin on the helmet. And as you're looking at this over and over again, you will notice some certain differences, like the cheekbone print is a little thinner on the newer piece, on the newer headpiece. And as I show later on, the back does actually seem to be more precise on the new minifigure. So there are pros and cons with each minifigure. However, I know obviously with the 2 camps of individuals with their opinions on this set, there is the one camp who thinks this is ridiculous. This is the worst minifigure we've ever received, and this new style of helmets are going to destroy the clone troopers. And of course, there is another camp who thinks that it is completely fine and that there is no problem with LEGO making this choice. And personally, I believe I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't think I'm too far on either side of these camps. However, I do think that the print itself is objectively worse than what we received in 2020, and the fact that LEGO proved it can do a more successful printing with those fins closer together and the printing closer to that central line. And then the print on the line itself, on the fin itself, is much more bold. So I think that LEGO has proven that they can do that better print. This is objectively a worse print. However, I think the design itself with the helmet holes is where it is more subjective, and one cannot definitively say that the new design is better in that respect. Also, the classic argument that LEGO is a kid's toy and we shouldn't even be talking about this to begin with is very much a straw man in my mind, and that is just a complete misnomer. If that's your concern and you think that LEGO is a kid's toy and we shouldn't be talking about this, why are you here watching my review of a kid's toy? If you would say that this is just a kid's toy so we wouldn't be concerned about the quality, Once again, I think that is ridiculous, total straw man argument, and anyone who bases that as their sole argument probably shouldn't be taken very seriously, in my opinion. However, with the helmet holes, it does give you a lot of customization with these minifigures and being able to use the visor or the rangefinder on any minifigure you want. So I think from that aspect, it is good. However, from the interchangeability of each minifigure within your army, seeing some minifigures without the helmet hole, some figures with, I do think it is not as crisp or clean looking for these sets. And if you're choosing to army build, I do suggest, or I would think you would want pretty much one or the other, as you may not notice the difference from afar as you get closer to these minifigures, and if you had them interchanged within one clone army, I do think you would notice and it would stand out to you. And once you point it out to someone else, I do unfortunately think that it would stand out like a sore thumb to them. So while I think there is a huge camp that does not mind, and there is, I do not know the exact size of the camp that does not or does mind very much so, I think there's something that LEGO should consider in which they decide to go. Are they going to decide to fix this in the future? I would imagine they've really put all their money into this one helmet mold, and I think they're going to use this one helmet mold moving forward. But I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comments. I know I did have a poll on Instagram, and many of you did not mind that the helmet holes were there, and of course a handful of you did mind, and I do not think you'll be purchasing much of this set. However, for $19.99, I do have to say this is a pretty good battle pack price, getting these 4 Ahsoka clone troopers, which previously were only available in a $40 LEGO set, which has been long since retired. So I think for $19.99, if you don't mind the helmet holes, it is a great pick. You get a fun little build with the swamp speeder, and it really does offer great army building. However, if you get this set at Walmart for $27, I do not think it is that good of a price point, unfortunately. And even now, as we're looking at the swamp speeder, you can see the very simple build it is. It does give you something of a unique build, and I think there are actually some interesting pieces here to maybe offer some alternate builds. And of course, it does have those 2 stud shooters, which are fun for play. But overall, I think this is a good set. If you don't mind the helmet holes, I think it does offer some fantastic options for LEGO sets. But I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comments. Please leave a comment. Please leave a like on this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video here and want to see more reviews in the future. Look forward to seeing you all in the comments and in the next reviews to come.